Just this last week, I was reading a news article. I try to read the news. I stopped watching the news because it just makes me angry. And don't tell me your brand. I don't care. It's like I get sick of hearing people scream at each other. I don't think that solves anything. And so I'm just tired of it. And so I quit watching the news. But I do read it to keep up on current events, and that's bad enough. But I heard a lady this week who's famous. And by the way, we have this thing in this country with celebrity. And it's not healthy. Because just because somebody's a star doesn't mean they're bright. Even though the name would suggest that they're bright, right? Just because you're a star doesn't mean you're bright. But then they asked this young lady, they were asking her why she's recently married and why she's not going to have any children. She said, I have no intention of having any children. I'm fine. I don't care if you have any kids or not. Matter of fact, I would hope you not reproduce yourself, but that's another story. And she said, because this world is not a happy place right now. I will agree with her on that. Truth? But then she goes on and she says something that I found incredibly telling. She said this. Let me read this quote because I don't want to mess this up. She said, why are we trained that love means putting yourself second and those around you first? And those around you love first. If you love yourself, then what? You come first. Let me read that again. Why are we trained that love means putting yourself second and those you love first? If you love yourself, then what? You come first. That is the philosophy of this world in a nutshell. She could not have said any better what the devil wants people to live like. Put yourself first. Isn't that what we've been talking about the last few weeks? It's like, it's like somebody in the Bible said that. It's like right out of the scripture. The world's system is self first. God's system is Christ first and others, then yourself. That's God's system. There is no such thing as a self-obsessed Christian. And so we are radically different. Do you see the difference in thought? Because if you don't believe that the world puts itself first, just drive down the interstate. If you try to be meek and giving and let people go in front, they will run all over you on the interstate. Why? Because they don't care about you. They care about themselves. And it's like wherever their destination is more important than your life. Because, this week I was driving and somebody almost ran me off the road because he didn't know what lane he was supposed to be in. And it didn't matter if he killed me. He needed to get where he was going. Put yourself first. That is the philosophy of the world. Listen to this. When I read this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to put this in the sermon. Why are we trained that love means to putting yourself second and those you love first? If you love yourself, then what? You come first. Wow. You see, I'd like to answer that young lady. She could care less what I think, but let me tell you something. Why are we supposed to love ourselves second and other people first? Because God commanded us to do it. And not only that, that's how he created us to be. That's how he wants us to be. And to live a life only to please yourself is a wasted existence. It doesn't matter how many stars they give you on the Walk of Fame. It doesn't matter how many Oscars or Emmys or Grammys or whatever they call them this week. That you get, because I've noticed one thing about people in Hollywood, they love to give themselves congratulations. Why? Because they put themselves first.